Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Captain America Dum Dum Dugan Nick Fury Jr. Jr.? Since when is he a junior? And Sharon Carter. Is that... I don't remember him being a junior. Anyway, this is a 3-pack of kind of army builders and also named characters. It's interesting because it's like set up for an army builder set, but you get no generic parts. So it's not really an army builder type thing, but you could definitely do it if you had some alternate heads and things. So you're gonna have to decide about that. But it's a pretty good set overall, I would say. Some definite downsides, we'll talk about that. Some really bad things, but also some pretty good things, like surprisingly good things too. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, really quickly before we get into the figures, I do want to show you my package. It is bigger than the average package. There's some decent color to it, good overall size, good display ability. You've got the 3 figures front and center with their accessories peppered around. I think it looks nice. I like that they have the names on there. Sometimes we don't get that. Artwork on the side is pretty good. I'll take it. Not bad. Not completely indicative of what's in the box, but it is not too shabby. And then on the back, some more artwork, which I guess is fine. Question of the day, do you guys want artwork on your boxes, or do you want photos of what's in the box, for instance, because there's like lots of stuff in this package that you can't see readily? Would you rather be able to see that back here, or would you like more artwork, or what is your stance on that? For me, I don't really care because I don't buy stuff in the stores that often, and I don't collect on card, so it doesn't matter. All right, let's get started here. Now these guys are fairly dark with very white things on there, so it's gonna look like the contrast and the exposure is off, but I think you should be able to see everything clearly. It's gonna get a little dark when I zoom and a little light when I don't, but I don't know what else to do with these guys. It's a highly volatile situation. Okay, this guy stands roughly 17 centimeters to the top of his head. That's gonna make him just about 6 and we'll call it 5/8, and then we'll also measure the lady, the female-y. She stands about 6 inches, not counting her hair flip, and that's going to make her roughly 15.5 centimeters. And I don't think it's overexposed. I think you can see everything you need to. I don't know, it's hard with this white PVC. It's very finicky with lighting. Alright, so for some height comparisons, let's set them down. Alright, there we go. And here we have Cable and Darwin. We're going to have random comparisons going forward based on whatever I happen to have here, plus some of the standards. There's a McFarlane Batman, definitely out of scale, of course, and even more so the Marvel Select Captain America. Okay, so there's your height comparisons. This is available at Big Bad Toy Store right now. If you guys are interested in this sort of thing, there is a link in the description below. It'll take you right to it. Okay, so I'm told this is the same body that recent Black Widow, that exclusive one that came out not that long ago, and I couldn't find any. Not everybody, most people said it was a great figure, the best thing since sliced bread. Other people told me it's actually not very good, and they wanted me to review it, and I said, well, I would, but I can't find it. Apparently this is the same body, so you're going to be getting that review in this one. But we're going to start with this. These guys are the same, and we're going to get the heads out of the way because that is the only major difference. There's one other slight difference, but we'll talk about that. Okay, so main body is going to be the same thing. It's slightly different across the two guys, which is weird, but functionally I'm going to say they're about the same. So if you'll notice, they actually went to the effort of giving them different abdominal sections and chests. And I guess they did that because the way they did these harnesses, even though they're separate pieces of plastic, they're actually like dug into the chest, into the body. So they had to give them different upper bodies, which is not something I expected, but they're pretty functionally the same. I'll go over them when we do the articulation, but you can see the differences in the harnesses across the chest, slight differences. Same thing with the belt there. And that's really about it, not counting the head, of course. So let's go ahead and look at the heads for the aesthetic rating. They're nice heads. I do think, especially Nick Fury, let's start with him. I do think we are definitely on the side of too realistic. These don't match. The bodies don't match the heads. It's nice, like it's a good head sculpt for sure, but definitely too realistic. Doesn't quite have that comic vibe. and also doesn't match the body. But if you like this sort of thing, they did a really good job with what's there. So you do get that. And then Dum Dum Dugan, not quite as much because he's kind of a cartoonish looking character, but it's still pretty hyper realistic, and it does look good. So if you're into that, you get it. If you're not into that, then you don't. That's no good. We'll talk about the other heads as accessories, but I want to get the bodies out of the way for these two. The other things on these bodies are pretty well done, like the shield logo on the shoulder, that looks nice. The straps do have some paint on them, little buttons and things painted here and there, so it's not bad. But it is a whole lot of bare white plastic and a whole lot of bare blue plastic. The sculpts are okay. Fury's is a little bit better, I would say. He's got a little bit better chest shape. Dugan's chest is kind of non-existent. It's really, really flat and just kind of disappears into nothingness. So that's not great. You're not going to see it that much because of the harnesses, but we've seen most of these parts before, some new parts of course, but it's like, they're fine. They're not like exceptionally impressive or anything like that, but they're perfectly fine, and for army builders it's probably good enough. Dugan's body is really weirdly shaped. He's got some lumps back here that don't make any sense at all. Like this part of his back is narrower than this part of his back. It's really, really weird looking. And having these white straps set in on the figures does not look as good as it would if they didn't do that. So definitely some odd choices, but overall the aesthetic on these guys is decent. On this one, I don't know. There's a couple things that stand out to me. One is her chesticle area, the cleavage, is not connected to her body, really? What is that garbage? Is that how Black Widow was too, or is this a new chest? I don't know, but that's terrible. That right there is enough to not want to own this. Why is there a giant meat flap on her chest? That's weird. And then for the shoulders, come on. They just painted some flesh tone on there to make it look like the shoulders were cut out, but it looks terrible because, like, they could have at least fudged it up above the cut for the bicep, but they didn't. The flesh just tucks right into the bicep. It looks ridiculous. And then the face, I mean, some people might like that, but to me, it's just a way over the top makeup. She looks like an Instagram model rather than the comic book character. It's fairly realistic again, and it's well done, but it's just a weird, weird choice. Hair is sculpted decent enough. The paint is good. I think the way they did the flip up the front is a little bit weird. It's a little bit high off the head, but I don't know. There's good about it and there's bad. Again, a lot of bare plastic with a little bit of painted detail in there, so it's kind of iffy. I don't know. I'm gonna say these guys all get a 7 from Marvel Legends. The details in the faces are nice, but it's Uncanny Valley sort of thing. It doesn't really match the rest of the figures, and the rest of the figures are not impressive in any way. So yeah, 7 for the aesthetic. Okay, as for the accessories, you already saw the main heads that come on the figures. Fury does get the other head, the black guy head with the bald head, and again, it's really well done, but way too realistic. Doesn't match the rest of the body, doesn't match the rest of Marvel Legends really, and it's just, the realism thing mixed with the cartoon looking bodies is just not good for me. You guys can have your own preference for that, but it is a confused design philosophy for sure that is objectively not great. And then for Sharon Carter, we have the hair pulled back head, which the hair is done well enough, good paint, good sculpt. The face, again, a little bit over the top with the makeup, I think, and the eyes are a little bit crooked, but not bad at all. And then for the actual accessories, we have a whole bunch of hands. Each character is going to get a whole slew of hands. Really, all the hands you could need, hands everywhere. No problem with the hands. Good vertical hinges on the gun hands. I like that. Speaking of guns, you get a whole bunch of guns. 2 of the rifles. You get 4 pistols with varying degrees of magazines and compensation. You get 2 silver pistols, which look like absolute garbage for Carter, and then you get the one classic-looking Nick Fury pistol. That one also looks like garbage. 2 combat knives, those are nice. And then you get some muzzle flashes. You get 4 of the orange, 2 yellow, and 6 smoke effects. I think that's probably a good spread of accessories. That's one of the things that's best about this pack, is you get a whole bunch of stuff in it. And that's the way it should be. We should always get a good spread of accessories for this price point, for this level of action figure. If they want to make the figures much better, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine, but then they better include more accessories like they have in this pack. So accessory-wise, I'm going to go 9 out of 10. Really good, very, very pleased with that. I just realized they don't have any place to store their combat knives on them. That's kind of annoying. And then let me know what you guys think about this. These guys both have pistols built into their harnesses. What do you think about that? I don't know. I think I'm okay with it. But they definitely could have just made them usable, so I don't know. Alright, we're going to do articulation. I did adjust the camera settings a little bit. We'll see if it looks a little bit better between the blue and the white. I don't know. We'll start with Dugan, and I'll mention their chests separately since they are slightly different. But we do still have the old school disc hinge, which is, yeah, you know, antiquated and not very good. Very limited in what you can do, but it's there. A little bit of wiggle, nothing special. Butterfly joint on this guy goes barely back at all. Goes barely forward at all. It is almost completely useless. Really, really almost useless. Shoulder goes all the way around. You can bring it up better than horizontal, so that's pretty good. You do get your bicep swivel. I do believe we've seen these arms before. Double jointed elbow works all right. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. His torso. Oh gosh. Come on. It's not even sculpted through. Like, there is no excuse. I'm so tired of everybody making excuses for Hasbro. There's no excuse that you have to have this faceted edge right here, where it loses most of its sculpt. It has some sculpt work going on, but right at that wrinkle, you also have a faceted edge. So it looks really bad. Decent enough range. Going forward, he can't even lean forward at all. Barely. Terrible. Terrible. And then you get your waist twist. Alright, let's see what's going on with his. His butterfly joint works a little better going back, a little better going forward. Not a ton, but it's definitely better. The shoulder should be about the same. Yeah, it goes all the way up, and of course you get the rotation and everything. Let's check his ab crunch, which goes back much farther. It's still slightly faceted, but nowhere near as much, and it's much smoother. He has way less of that pregnant belly, which is much appreciated. Don't like that on my guys. And then going forward, this gets in the way, so he can't go very far forward either. Was his limited because of that? No, his just doesn't work. God, Hasbro sucks, man. Okay, let's look at the hips. I'm guessing we're gonna have standard hips. Yeah, they go pretty far forward. That's fine, like almost to horizontal. They don't go back too far. Going out to the side, not bad. This stuff's gonna get in the way over here. I'm sure it's gonna be the same for this guy, even more so. Yeah, because he's got that extra strap. But yeah, the legs work well enough. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knees, not bad. Proportioning, much better than we usually see, so that is okay by me. You do get a boot swivel if you want that, and then the ankles go pretty far back if you give them a little bit of force. And not that far forward. Maybe you can get it over that cuff. Like, okay, come on, Hasbro. You guys didn't try it? Like, you didn't try to bring the foot forward and realize that wrinkle's in the way? So you can't bring the foot any farther forward than that. Alright, and then the ankle rocker is decent. So articulation on these guys, very average. Very average. I'll go 7, and that's probably generous. It is acceptable. There's nothing special about those two. Alright, this figure, the one that I told... I think the settings are better. The one that I was told was so good. Alright, let's see. For the head, you get your hinge and your ball peg. They're never gonna do double ball pegs regularly, which is almost worthless. So you can tuck her chin into her clavicle if you want to, but it's basically worthless for any real posing. You can rotate the head a little bit, so that's good. I mean, some posability is nice. The hair's there. They don't use a particularly soft material, so it's gonna get in the way. She does have a butterfly joint, which... Alright, let's do a question of the day. This is gonna be a little bit different than what I normally ask about butterfly joints. Why do you guys want them when they almost never work? So many people don't want double ball pegs because Hasbro can't make them work. Why do you guys want butterfly joints when they don't work like 90% of the time? It's such a weird phenomenon to me. It's almost as weird as everybody complaining, not literally everybody, most people complaining about having pins in 2024, yet they don't mind every figure looking like it's wearing elbow pads and knee pads because they can't get the colors right and joints are getting loose. Like, nobody cares about that, but we can't see the pins. Weird things going on in the toy industry. Anyway, very little range in the butterfly. Is it nice to have it? Sure. Is hers particularly ugly and problematic? No, because she doesn't have giant pecs. and so it's fine. So there's nothing wrong with that, but it still doesn't work well. Hasbro does not understand how to do butterfly joints, apparently. It's not good. All right, shoulder comes out to the side better than horizontal. That is good. Full rotation, of course. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. This is all fairly standard type stuff. That's good. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Diaphragm joint on this figure is decent. It doesn't lean forward really at all. And it leans back okay. Side to side, pretty limited also. You get some rotation. Very average for a diaphragm joint. You do get an ab crunch that helps her to... Oh, by the way, she's floppy on that ball peg up there. So you do get an ab crunch to help her lean back, but then she's still only using both joints, finally getting decent range. So it takes 2 joints from Hasbro to do what most companies can do in none. I'm just kidding, it's 1. Still can't lean forward. Oh man, what is going on? Even with this goofy ass upside down ab crunch, she still can't lean forward very far. Why? Why? Alright, so, and that's it for the torso, so no waist twist, so no leaning to the side. You can't do it because they don't know joints. The DC Icons figures had this a while ago, and it didn't work for them, and then Hasbro saw it and was like, hey, we'll do that too, it's newly designed articulation. It doesn't freaking work. It doesn't work, you need a twist underneath the crunch. Functionally, a waist twist and an ab crunch covers all your bases in terms of what you need to do. Of course, it's better to have a ball peg to be able to lean to the side at the top too, but you need a waist twist. The crunch being fixed to the hips is not good. It's not good, and it doesn't work on this figure for crap. All right, for the hips, she doesn't have drop-down hips, so I'll give them that. All right, so they can't get... if I'm not flexing the hips just better than 45 degrees, so those are very limited going out to the side. Going forward, that's nice. That's really nice. You can kick pretty high. That's good. Thigh swivel, of course, is good. Double jointed knees work nicely. Proportioning is not bad. And then that should be good. And then for the ankles, they go all the way back, all the way forward. Ankle rocker is decent. These feet are way too big. These feet are way too big for this figure. You can see all the way inside there, and it just, she's swimming in those shoes. The feet aren't actually too big, it's the cutout that is. But weird. Okay, so this is the best female body they've ever made, huh, for Black Widow, and they reused it. The articulation blows. It doesn't work. She can't lean forward. Oh man, she can't lean to the side. The hips don't go out. She can't even do the splits. Whatever. Okay, so articulation on this figure is gonna actually get a, I'll give it a 7 still. It's okay, it's fine. Extra POA does not mean extra range from Hasbro. Alright, so time for the final verdict on this 3-pack. As a collector, am I happy I have it? Yeah. Sure, I like it. It's fun. Fun enough. As a reviewer, what the heck? There's so many problems. It's so goofy, the things they do. Oh man, all this new stuff and they still can't get it right. Her hips. Why can't she do the splits? Why? Why can this figure, I can't stop bringing this one out. Why can this figure, with those chunky legs and a metal diaper and big old cakes, why can he do this? Hasbro, why? Explain to me. Tell me it's licensing. Oh man, that's everyone's excuse for Hasbro. It's licensing. Anyway, oh man, they just can't make anything better than mediocre, it seems. Not on a regular basis. Yeah, this 3-pack, the best thing about it is the accessories. It's a fine 3-pack. It's gonna get an overall rating of 7 out of 10. It's not gonna upset you as a whole. Little things definitely will, but it's fine. It's alright. What is this? Can someone... Is this also licensing? Is it licensing that keeps them from having the skin connected to her body? Alright, I'm done. I'll see myself out. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.